I'm in exalted company today. Oh, Tangarasa did with us. Hare Krishna. Dandavat, Dandavat. And Vijay Krishna Prabhu and Leela Moy Devirasi in southeast London. Hare Krishna. And our West London hosts. Dandavat is very difficult to see. We have to enlarge the screen somehow, but first let me rename. Let me click on the microphone. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Shri Gaura Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Let's see who's in London. We'll make it a bit bigger. Oh, they're chanting.
Kirtan is full kirtan. Yeah.
Chanting. Very good, very good, very good, very good. Now, my question now is if I open Chrome, is going to make noise. So here is Safari, ssmat.com. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Shri Gaura Bhaktivinoda. If West London turns their microphone on, we can hear their kirtan. Hare Krishna.
Sorry, Maharaj, Dandavad Maharaj. We were just finishing off the kirtan and we couldn't hear the Zoom, so apologies for the...
Well, we were just saying if you turned on your microphone, we could hear the kirtan.
I know, but normally when we do that, then it's like a very like a hard sound. I don't think it sounds very good. I don't know.
Anyhow, all is good. We heard this time. We heard the kirtan through seeing, see by hearing, but today we heard by seeing, and very good sound.
You can hear this, Maharaj. Maharaj, we're joined here with lots of lovely friends. I'm trying to show everyone. Nitai Prabhu and Veera Chandra Prabhu, they're organizing 3-hour kirtans here every other Saturday at the temple. And so now we have lots of friends, including Martin in the back, here in the temple room, and then lots of devotees also helping out with the volunteering, the prasadam distribution in the prasadam area. So
we like the sound of activity. Yeah. So I'm very, very pleased to hear and to see, and you got a blue carpet on the floor, just like in Navadip. So you're,
Straight from Navadip down. This is from Navadip.
It is from Navadip. Okay, very good. And red border, is it?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah, we can see. Giant. Pakka. But not quite like Navadip though. There are no holes.
I know, holes, yes.
It is holy without holes. How about that? Govinda, Govinda. All right, well, dear friends and dear devotees in West London and in East London and all over in different directions. Saraswati Didi also joined us, and let's look at the gallery view. Saraswati and not sure who the VISN part is, but Saraswati is with us. And we can see, Vishnu Priya. When we look in the list, we can see. All right, welcome, welcome.
Madhavi
and Madhavi Didi. Madhavi in Colombia, welcome. And Dandavat Madhavi Didi.
Dandavat devotos, Dandavat Maharaj.
Todos devotos del Señor Chaitanya, mis reverencias. And to Seamus and Vijay.
He's out. He's in the back garden. Yeah. So I'm just going there now.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Jai.
If you're in the garden, my guess is also it's a sunny, happy day there in Ireland.
Beautiful. Yes. So sunny.
And Chaitanya Devashis joined us too from the Rome suburbs of West London.
Dandavat, Dandavat to everyone.
Dandavat Chaitanya
Maharaj.
Devashis. All roads lead to Rome, even the M24, it's no M25, the London Circular Road, it seems. All right, so we're 5 minutes in, 6 minutes in, 7 minutes in. Oh, the clock going very fast there. So let us continue with who is with us, and more may join in the meantime. So first of all, we've come together in the West London temple. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindubhya evacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. And Saraswati in the kitchen. Again, very difficult to see who's in the kitchen. Ramananda Prabhu, yes. Ramananda Prabhu, Dandavat, Haribo, seeing the kitchen saver. And Saraswati, and who's on the right? A volunteer maybe.
Hello.
That's Rani, Maharaj.
Huh?
That's Rani. She's always helping us out on Saturdays.
Okay, wonderful, Rani. And Dandavat, Hare Krishna.
Smriti.
Smriti. All right, we got Smriti, we got Rani, and we have Lavanya Moy. I know, I got a glimpse of her for 1/11th of a second. Jai. All right, so you're all busy in West London. No doubt in East London, everybody's always busy. Oh, and here we are in also the southern suburbs of West London. That is, we are at Vila Govinda Ashram, at the foothills, the very beginning of the Alps. They call it the foothills of the Alps. And Monte Vecchio, if you wish to know, they consider as the very beginning of the Alps. It's the first hill which you come to, and it's got the church on the top. So we go there time to time to make a pilgrimage to where Srila Gurudev sat up on the top of the hill by near Monte Vecchio church. All right, so Jai Srila Gurudev ki Jai, Jai Srila Guru Maharaj ki Jai, Sri Chaitanya Saraswati Mat ki Jai, Sri Chaitanya Saraswati Acharya Brinda ki Jai. So Devashis Prabhu always very kind to us to give us some good title for us to start the topic, and maybe the topic goes elsewhere during the chat, during the talk, but he's given the title Heart Within and God Overhead. And Krishna, Krishna, Krishna. Heart within and God overhead. So, we've heard this statement, we've got here quotation, Srila Guru Maharaj, Srila Sridhar Maharaj. Then he's telling about his Guru Maharaj, Prabhupada, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. So Srila Guru Maharaj is saying, and this is in Holy Engagement, the book Holy Engagement. So Guru Maharaj saying, Prabhupada, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur had to begin his fight almost single-handedly against the whole of the world, against all the different stages of culture ever known to the world. His only support was Srimad Bhagavatam and Sriman Mahaprabhu. He proceeded with, and here even it is putting in inverted quotes, this expression, he proceeded with heart within and God overhead. And Guru Maharaj continuing, On his head was Mahaprabhu and Bhagavatam. And he, Srila Prabhupada, Srila Saraswati Thakur, he stood alone to fight out their cause. Not only did he want to fight in Bengal, the province of Mahaprabhu, and not only in India, but he wanted to fight outside as well. Hare Krishna. So we've come to the West London temple, and we can really bring this into the context of the world and of London, because in particular we know that it was Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur's wish that in London the preaching will go ahead, that in London Mahaprabhu's message will be presented. And he sent his emissaries. He sent his emissaries to London, and with the hope that from there, then the Krishna consciousness will take hold, because he had also that strategy that if you go to the strongest place, then if the strongest place is inundated with Krishna consciousness, and that will spread out, and especially at that time in India, then London was considered very much a strong place, at least, because it was the capital of the British Empire, of which India, Burma, Malaysia, Singapore, so many countries on that side of the world, they were part of that empire. And so the world was looking to the West. And Srila Saraswati Thakur saw that India is looking to the West, also the residents of India, they're looking to the West. So if we can bring the West within Krishna consciousness, then India may come to its senses. And this is the theme of Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada's preaching. And remember, he, on his first meeting with Srila Saraswati Thakur, then Srila Saraswati Thakur told to Srila Prabhupada, you are an English-speaking person. You speak to the English-speaking section of the Western world. You take Mahaprabhu's message there. And then we just read 2 days ago how in December of the last year, 1936, so Srila Prabhupada Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur's presence on this world, Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj, he wrote to Srila Prabhupada, and Srila Prabhupada replied to him on Hindi. He gave the date in the middle half, the early middle half of the December of 1936. He replied back to him and he said, with practically the same instruction he gave me on my first meeting, please, you preach in the Western world to the English-speaking section. So the desire of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur was manifest, as we all know, through Srila Prabhupada, who brought Krishna consciousness, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu consciousness everywhere. And practically like this description we have of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, starting off alone with Srimad Bhagavatam and with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and then following God within, and heart within. Well, God is also there, he's Paramatma. Heart within and God overhead. And now we, as Guru Maharaj said, now we have seen the result of his glorious preaching in the Western world. And that is how all of us present here have come to have appreciation for Mahaprabhu, for Krishna, for Guru, for the whole of the conception given by Mahaprabhu, the Rupa, Nuga, Sampradaya, etc. So heart within, God overhead, a wonderful expression given by Srila Guru Maharaj for us. And Guru Maharaj always stressing that it is not just facts, just to know, to calculate about Krishna consciousness. But Guru Maharaj also saying that there must be some affectionate heart within. And this is the relationship. This is the relationship that's coming from up to down. It is not with a whip. It is not with a like the strong arm of the law. But Krishna in himself in Gita has given us, given Arjuna, but also explained, he's given us, the Jiva souls, freedom. And Krishna affectionately telling, I'm telling you all this. Okay, now what are you going to do? He's not, well, actually, he is with a whip in his hand, but the whip is for the horses, not for Arjuna. So, but he's not in a whip with a whip in his hand for Arjuna, saying, you must do this. He's explaining everything. And actually, as Gurudev said about his coming to Guru Maharaj, he said that actually he was bound by affection. So that affectionate heart within, that is not only our Guru Vaga, but it is reciprocal. The devotee to other devotees, the devotee to the Guru to the disciples, the Guru to his godbrothers. The whole family relationship is one of affectionate heart. So the affectionate heart within and heart within, God overhead. Not to be, the expression is not cold iron slab within and God the dictator overhead. Not that. It is inside we have a heart and with God overhead, taking shelter under his lotus feet. Then proceeding happily in Krishna consciousness. So anyhow, Hare Krishna. I can read you also a little part because everything we always try to, actually we always try to say, please look and see what Srila Gurudev and what Srila Guru Maharaj have said. Hear their message, focus on them. They are the gold standard. And I'll read you just a very short part. Excuse me, just 1 second. I have to do some mathematics. 252, okay. All right, mathematics finished. I read you a very short section. And it's Srila Guru Maharaj in this occasion, Srila Guru Maharaj again speaking. And what's Guru Maharaj saying? He says, one must be very careful not to make any remark generally about the practices and activities of another Vaishnava. Okay, I'll say that one more time. So this is Guru Maharaj speaking. One must be very careful not to make any remark generally about the practices and activities of another Vaishnava. It may be possible only in the case when one is empowered by the Supreme, just as in the case of his disciple, to correct his disciples with a guardian's sympathetic eye. He can mark the defects and he will help them to remove those defects. Then there must be some affectionate heart within, not jealousy or anything of that type, but with goodwill. The affectionate guardians want to remove the defects. So again, just a very short excerpt, but these excerpts, if we can keep them and remember them and catch the spirit of what Guru Maharaj is saying, then this is really the guidelines for our life. Jnana Shunya Bhakti, we are meant to be in knowledge-free devotion, but we need to have knowledge, we need to have understanding of the relationship between the devotees, the process of devotional service, the beautiful, sweet process of devotional service, which is promised everywhere. The destination is wonderful, the journey is wonderful. So We need to keep all the context of our relationships with the devotees. We need to keep our own life going safely and securely, following the essence of the affectionate guidance of our masters, who are, with affection, bringing us Srimad Bhagavatam and Mahaprabhu, bringing us Srimad Bhagavatam and Chaitanya Charitamrita. And talking of, mentioning of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, then we read here just 2 nights ago maybe, the very end of Chaitanya Charitamrita, Srila Prabhupada, Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, is giving a conclusion about the date he finished translating it, about the Chaitanya Charitamrita. It's actually a very wonderful, it's short, it's not long, it's short. And there he said that Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, in his final days, he was daily reading only Chaitanya Charitamrita, that this was very dear to him. So Srimad Bhagavatam and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, so Srimad Bhagavatam and Chaitanya Charitamrita, so dear to Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, to Guru Maharaj, to Srila Gurudev, to Srila Prabhupada. And here we've got also essence of how to proceed. So God overhead means Bhagavatam and Chaitanya Charitamrita. It means the Vaishnavas who are giving us Bhagavatam and Chaitanya Charitamrita. And heart within, we must be sensitive. We must follow the Vaishnava etiquette. We must do the things which are told by Rupa Goswami in Upadeshamritam. The 6 loving exchanges between devotees. All of these guidances, 6 senses to control, 6 things which are unfavorable, 6 things which are favorable, 6 beautiful interaction of love between devotees, and then step by step. But this is all to wake up our loving relationship with the Lord. And if we mention Bhagavatam, we can say what the very beginning of Bhagavatam, it says that this is for those who are non-envious. And non-envious means generous-hearted, means that the persons, they are only wanting good for others. And when seeing good in others, they are joyful. When seeing others excelling, they are joyful. No other thought is even thinking to enter their mind. And that is what is Srimad Bhagavatam, who Srimad Bhagavatam is for. This is what Chaitanya Charitamrita, that is for. And this is the family gold standard, Srimad Bhagavatam and Chaitanya Charitamrita, brought to us by Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, Srila Guru Maharaj, and our Trinity, Srila Guru Maharaj, Srila Gurudev, and Srila Prabhupada. So a little idea of heart within, and I can just quickly say one more thing because I'm taking up too much time, and we do have special guests here. In addition to Devashis, we've got our dear Keshavananda, who's now trying to dissolve into the ground. Look, he's trying to get out of the screen. Okay, there's Keshavananda. Yes. So you see, he hasn't managed to escape. He's tied. We've tied him down. No. Anyway, just one more thing to say, that we've seen over however many years, if you want to say many years, several years, whatever you like to say, but from 1982 onwards, we've seen, interacted, been with the affectionate, wonderful, heart within gurus, teachers of Srila Guru Maharaj and Srila Gurudev, the Paramahamsa Vaishnavas, sharing with all heart, sharing with affection, giving, wanting the best for everyone, and giving us much opportunity, however unqualified we are. And actually, in their eyes, we are all very unqualified. Only qualification may be whatever faith we can have in Guru and Gauranga, in the holy name, in the process, in the Vaishnavas. And so we must be very careful to protect that faith and to build on that faith in the association of devotees. So heart within, God overhead. These are a few words from myself. And I can invite Devashis Prabhu. Would you like to speak next, or should we ask our Keshavananda Prabhu in case he runs away?
Yes, Maharaj, Keshavananda Prabhu. We want to hear from him.
Hare Krishna.
Ding.
Ding.
So here, I think you all know Keshavananda Prabhu. He looks after everybody with heart, especially these last few years. Since 2014, he's been looking after the devotees, the pilgrims coming to Vrindavan and Govardhan. And now with the COVID time, of course, none of us are able to go to India. And so he's been in Salt Lake City recently, in the new ashram in Texas recently, and then has now come here to Vila Govinda ashram, being able to travel a little bit at this time, having an American passport and British, and fortunate to be able to travel. So Keshavananda Prabhu, heart within, God overhead. Over to you.
Krishna Dandava, all the devotees happy to see everyone there. Happy to see the service going on in the kitchen there. We just sent a happy birthday.
Where's the microphone?
We just sent a happy birthday message for Vijay Raman Prabhu in
Abkhazia.
Well, he's in Abkhazia now, but his home, of course, in St. Petersburg, looking after all the devotees there. So Maharaj was very careful to film everyone as they were engaged in service, to send him that video, because that's what he likes to see. He's happy to see the devotees busily engaged with the service of the temple and their Lord and the Vaishnavas. So we're seeing that now in the wonderful kirtan. We couldn't hear, but we could see the enthusiasm. Really, we could see the enthusiasm and sweet kirtan going on there in West London, and we know that kirtan resounds through London from both east and west. That kirtan is going on steadily and happily. We were watching a video this morning of some rough footage of Navadip Parikrama, we think in the mid-80s sometime, and we saw Dayanidhi Prabhu there playing the Madanga and in the kirtan. So that was another reminder of the kirtan that's coming out of this unique temples in London, the extension of Guru Maharaj's heart and his mission specifically there in London. So happy to see all the devotees there, so busily engaged. And so many things have been happening in the world and in our mission, and always a time for, we're always being encouraged to find that heart within, to examine our own hearts, and in the light of what we hear from our protectors and well-wishers, how we can adjust and how our heart needs to be purified and constantly tweaked, and well, more than tweaked in my case, but anyway, adjusted, we can say. Religion means proper adjustment, and the Lord is giving us so much opportunity if we can hear and with summon up some sincerity to see how we can adjust, and where we have gone wrong, and how we should continue. So here we're here with Madhusudan Maharaj and the wonderful devotees here in Italy, who are not here present with us now because they are also super busy. We had a morning in the kitchen preparing for the distribution that goes on throughout the day here. We're here with Muktinath Prabhu from Ukraine and Russia, and we sat down to take some prasadam a little while ago, and he said, it feels like just 1 second ago we were taking breakfast and now already we're taking lunch. And Maharaj saying, yes, the days are going quickly, the months are going quickly, the millennia are going quickly, and we know this is true, that time is our lives are passing so quickly. So really seize the day. That verse that we're talking about I think from Longfellow, one English poet, about trust no future, however pleasant. Let the dead past bury its dead. Forward, into the living present with heart within and God o'erhead. The whole poem is wonderful, actually. That what may be, we don't know what may be in the future, and the past is already finished. But what we've taken from that and what we've heard from our Guru Devs, that is the present that we are in, that is fresh, and it's all we've got. And we want to, we're praying that we can catch some of that mercy that Guru Dev's given. We'd always ask for mercy from him, and he would say, so much mercy I'm giving, maybe you have a hole in your pocket that it's coming out somewhere and you're losing it. Because we know that an ocean, these aren't hyperbolic terms for the personalities such as Srila Govinda Maharaj and Srila Sridhar Maharaj, Srila Swami Maharaj Prabhupada, really Ananda Sagara, just an ocean of compassion and mercy, and our well-wishers only wanting to give good to us, wanting to help us to come to that realization. So we're trying to pray very sincerely that only by that determination to try every day to move in a way they would be happy with, is everything harmonized. And then everything can be harmonized. And we were singing a day or two ago, in that situation, there's not a care in this world. We can, Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, we'll drink the poisoned water of the Jamuna. That we're feeling like we're feeling like Krishna's dear protected cows under his merciful, beautiful care. And we are under the merciful, beautiful, inconceivable heart care of these Vaishnavas, these great souls who we've been so fortunate to come into some connection with. So we want to just try and imbibe that every day and take very seriously that this day now is what is in my hand. And hearing just now from Maharaj, reading these instructions of Guru Maharaj, how careful we must be to keep as in alignment as much as possible by us, in alignment with their desires of how we shall be and how we shall act and how we shall conceive, how we shall see the world and see each other and see everything. And we know that that's only possible through the grace of Sri Guru and Vaishnava. So we're so happy to see everyone here from around the world. We're all gathered now in West London, the various suburbs of West London in America, and Italy, Ireland, and so many places. And really, Gurudev has that power to harmonize and to bring everyone together. So it's very wonderful. Anyway, I'm very happy just to see you all and know you all. What can I say? Hare Krishna, Jai Gurudev.
And you can all see Keshavananda's heart within. If I turn up the camera, see, there's God overhead. He's up there.
Oh yeah, he is, but we can't. Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Jai Devashis Prabhu.
Jai Maharaj. Nice to see you, Keshavananda Prabhu. Always. So yeah, you're quite right. That quote that Guru Maharaj used is from Longfellow, Henry Wadsworth Longfellow. Surprisingly, he's not British, he's American. He's an American poet, and he was a contemporary of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. And Bhaktivinoda Thakur, in his own journal, says that he was very much inspired by this poem. The whole, it's just one verse from the poem. The whole poem is called A Psalm of Life. And if you know the Bhaktivinoda's poem, it goes under various titles, the Jiva Soul, or I think the actual title is Saragrahi Vaishnava. It's almost a parallel of that poem of Longfellow. So, and I found that poem. So I'm just getting Longfellow's poem. I'm going to read that with your permission, and you'll see, if you know that poem of Bhaktivinoda Thakur's, how very similar they are actually. Although Bhaktivinoda Thakur giving something a little higher, but this is Longfellow's poem, which is A Psalm of Life. And the subtitle is What the Heart of the Young Man Said to the Psalmist. It says, tell me not in mournful numbers, life is but an empty dream. For the soul is dead that slumbers, and things are not what they seem. Life is real, life is earnest, and the grave is not its goal. Dust thou art, to dust returnest, was not spoken of the soul. Not enjoyment and not sorrow is our destined end or way, but to act that each tomorrow finds us further than today. Art is long and time is fleeting, and our hearts, though stout and brave, still, like muffled drums, are beating funeral marches to the grave. In the world's broad field of battle, in the bivouac of life, be not like dumb, driven cattle. Be a hero in the strife. Trust no future, however pleasant. Let the dead past bury its dead. Act in the living present, heart within and God overhead. Lives of great men all remind us we can make our lives sublime, and departing leave behind us footprints in the sands of time. Footprints that perhaps another, sailing o'er life's solemn main, a forlorn and shipwrecked brother, seeing shall take heart again. Let us then be up and doing, with a heart for any fate, still achieving, still pursuing, learn to labor and to wait. That's his poem. And I think that's rather wonderful. And if you know Bhaktivinoda Thakur's poem is very similar. Alas for those who spend their days in festive mirth and joy, the dazzling, deadly liquid forms their hearts forever employ. The shining bottles charm their eyes, draw their hearts' embrace. The slaves of wine can never rise from what we call disgrace. Was man intended to be a brute in work and heart? Should man, the Lord of all around, from common sense depart? Man's glory is in common sense, dictating us the grace that man is made to live and love the beauteous heavens embrace. The flesh is not our own, alas, the mortal frame a chain. The soul, confined for former wrongs, should try to rise again. Why then this childish play in that which cannot be our own, which falls within 100 years, as if a rose are blown? Our life is but a rosy hue, to go ere long for naught. The soul along would last fore'er, with good or evil fraught. How deep the thought of times to be, how grave the aspect looks, and wrapped in awe become, oh, we, when reading nature's books. Man's life to him a problem dark, a screen both left and right. No soul hath come to tell us what exists beyond our sight. But then a voice, how deep and soft, within ourselves is left. Man, man, thou art immortal soul, thee death can never melt. For thee thy sire on high has kept a store of bliss above. To end of time thou art, oh, his, who wants but purest love. O love, thy power and spell benign, now melt my soul to God. How can my earthly words describe that feeling soft and broad? Enjoyment, sorrow, what but lots to which the flesh is heir? The soul that sleeps alone concludes, in them it hath a share. And then my friends no more enjoy, nor weep for all below. The women, wine, and flesh of beasts, no love on thee bestow. But thine to love thy brother man, and give thyself to God. And God doth know your wages fair. This fact is true and broad. Forget the past that sleeps, and ne'er the future dream at all, but act in times that are with thee, and progress thee shall call. But tell me not in reasoning cold, the soul is made alone by earth's mechanic lifeless rules, and to destruction prone. My God, who gave us life and all, alone the soul can kill, or give it all the joys above, his promise to fulfill. So push thee onward march, O soul, against an evil deed that stands with soldiers' hate and lust, a hero be indeed. Maintain thy post in spirit world as firmly as you can. Let never matter push thee down, O stand, heroic man. O Saragrahi Vaishnav soul, thou art an angel fair. Lead me on to Vrindavan, and spirit's power declare. There rests my soul from matter free, upon my lover's arms. Eternal peace and spirit's love are all my chanting charms. There we are.
Perfect.
Wonderful. Yeah, wonderful, actually. And Guru Maharaj often quoting that part of that psalm by Longfellow. And really, you know, as both of you explained already, you know, that's actually the essence of what we're trying to pursue, is that with our honest heart, our true heart within us, we can find that God is always above us, overhead, as Guru Maharaj said, the guardian's loving eye always watching over us. And he informed us that if you understand that, Tad Vishnu Paramam Padam Sada Pashyanti Surya Diviva Chakshura Tatam, that if you understand that the Lord is above you, his loving eye always watching you, always giving shelter to you and protecting you, then you cannot but progress as you live and move in the world, if you keep that. So, and in essence, that means heart within and God overhead. And Guru Maharaj said, so why the necessity of so much formality? We are all Mahaprabhu's men. Then there should be, yes, there are rules and regulations and all of these things, but never so much that it stifles the spirit of what we've come for. And that is something that the heart yearns for. And that's for everyone. Then we should not be, Guru Maharaj would say, you should not think, oh, why is Krishna giving favor to this one and not to me? And, I know all of the bad things about that person. They shouldn't be receiving any grace from God. Doesn't he know that, I'm the one who should receive all of these wonderful things and, not that person. Now, this is part of the material condition. It is envy. And Guru Maharaj, Srila Govinda Maharaj, he said, one of the first lessons I had from Srila Guru Maharaj was serve the Vaishnavas without envy. Nirmat Saranam. This is right at the beginning of Srimad Bhagavatam, that this religion, if you like, this process of Krishna consciousness is for the non-envious. That is a prerequisite, that we should not be envious. In fact, we should always become joyful to see that others are receiving grace from the Lord, because that makes our faith substantial. that we can see that others are receiving that grace, and they're growing, and they're proceeding in that line of grace. And it's so wonderful to see that. And it affirms our own faith. As Srila Guru Maharaj said, the peculiar nature of Krishna consciousness is that you cannot detect it in yourself. You can only see it in others. So if we're able to see that in others, that should give us encouragement that, yes, this is a real thing. This is something that's actually substantial. And on the other hand, Guru Maharaj said, and if you think you are receiving that yourself, if you think you are progressing in that way, then that means you're very far away from it, actually. You know, it's kind of delusional to think that, oh, I'm advancing so much in Krishna consciousness. I've heard it from people sometimes. Oh, I'm getting so much taste for chanting the holy name. And, you know, really, seriously, let's be real. Let's be real. But it is wonderful that we can see substantially that our God brothers and God sisters progressing so happily and nicely in Krishna consciousness, that we see the qualities of Vaishnava, of the Vaishnava manifesting in them. We see that every day people's lives are changing and evolving into something wonderful, coming closer to the lotus feet of the Lord that they aspire to serve. And, you know, naturally, as Guru Maharaj uses this example of the planets in their orbit to the sun, he says, those that are closest to the sun, naturally their qualities are going to be very similar to that of the sun. So similarly, those who are in the close orbit, if you like, of Lord Krishna, we will see that they have qualities similar to Lord Krishna. And that's a wonderful thing. That's something we hope for, something we look for. And Guru Maharaj always saying, we should try to seek out some higher association. And if you cannot find any higher association, then you're in a very deplorable situation. Because actually there is always higher association. It's only our ego which prevents us from seeing that, thinking, oh, I'm the most qualified. No one's as qualified as I am. Then I cannot see anybody. Oh dear, that's very unfortunate. So, you know, we see that in the example of Mahaprabhu's own Leela in Chaitanya Charitamrita. When he meets, or when any of the devotees, they meet the disciples of Madhavendra Puri or Ishvara Puri, they can tell who their guru is by the characteristic, by the nature of those devotees. When they see what they speak about, how they behave, how they relate with other Vaishnavas, and in relation to the holy things and the holy life, then the devotees can understand, oh yes, you must be a follower of Madhavendra Puri, because that's how his disciples behave. That's how his disciples are. So, you know, when we see that in others, oh, he must be a disciple of Srila Guru Maharaj. He must be a disciple of Srila Govinda Maharaj. We see that their nature is like our Gurudev's nature. And that's wonderfully encouraging for us, and gives us hope that maybe, you know, some of those qualities, they might spill over onto us one day if we just hang around long enough and not make any offenses to the Vaishnavas. That's the most difficult thing, to stay in the association of the devotees and not make any offense. So that means that's why we have to be humble. This is not just you know, something that we parrot all the time, you know, be humble, be tolerant, give honor to others. But seething in our heart is enviousness and criticism and, you know, so many rotten things. No, we have to embrace that idea of humility, tolerance, and giving honor to others. We have to embrace that and practice that as a sadhana. That's actually our real sadhana. There's no other real sadhana apart from that. And that will give us everything. Guru Maharaj said the trade secret of devotion. Trade secret of devotion is humility, tolerance, and giving honor to others. And at the same time, not coveting any honor for yourself. That's a difficult thing. It's a difficult thing. Everyone wants to be recognized by their Gurudev. Oh, he is a sincere boy or a sincere girl, progressing very nicely. So that is one thing. But when we think that we're holding some very important position and that we are qualified to pass judgment on other Vaishnavas, then we find ourselves in very deep trouble. So we should try to avoid that, as Maharaj said right at the beginning. Try not to see the wrong activities in the Vaishnava. Once when I was with Srila Govinda Maharaj and I was questioning about some particular devotee about their behavior, and some senior man in our mission, and Gurudev said, Prabhu, who is perfect in this world? Is anybody perfect in this world? We live in the imperfect world. This is the plane of imperfection. Then where will you find anyone that's perfect in this world? But rather, we should look to see what is the man's or the devotee's aspiration in life. If their aspiration is for something high and something noble, then we can understand what kind of person that is underneath everything.
Mm-hmm.
Their aspiration is all, and that should be our guide, actually. And try to see, as Saraswati Thakur would say, dive deep into the bright side of the devotees, not always looking. Guru Maharaj said, here is a very lovely flower garden, and over there is a garbage tip. Why are you giving so much attention to the garbage tip when there's some lovely flower garden over here? Give your attention there. So, it's very easy to find dirty things in this material world. But we're not so interested in that. Or in fact, we're not interested in that at all, hopefully. We want to, spend our time in the beautiful flower garden of Krishna consciousness. And that's only possible if we remain humble and tolerant and giving honor to others and not wanting any of that for ourselves. Gurudev told this from day one until his last day. This was the tenor of his preaching everywhere. And not only his preaching, but who he was. He was the personification of that verse, you can say, in every way. And everybody that met him could understand that, I think. Anyway, that's my contribution today. Hope that's okay.
Jai Devashis.
Beautiful.
And actually, I can say it's really wonderful hearing those poems read by you, Devashis. Like, we're both sitting here. We had the microphone off, I hope. But we're both sitting here, like just giving like confirmation. Oh, yes, yes, yes. When we hear it read so deliberately and so communicationally, whatever the word is. I mean, really, they're wonderful poems. As well as, of course, what you added afterwards, what you said afterwards. Prabhu, we are in West London, Matt, and we have Rasamoy Pandita Devadasi back with us. Perhaps she would like to give us a little contribution from there, because she knows about heart within, and she knows about God overhead, with the Vaishnavas, with Gurudev, with so many experiences in life. So, Rasamoy Pandita Didi, please, a few words from you, from your heart within.
Maharaj, I know devotees that are very, very dear and in Srila Gurudev's heart. And those devotees that I know, that's all I can say, and that's why we're here. But actually, if you don't mind, also we have Mr. Ratan Chakrabarti here. And he's a very special new friend to us, and his family are coming to do service here regularly, and his 3 children, and he's a very sweet devotee, and I don't know if he wants to tell you anything.
Because Maharaj, actually they are really telling, they know they are very expert how to do a little thing. We are not doing anything actually. We are getting We are receiving their blessings, actually their mercy. Actually, this is the exchange. How we know this is a flow? It should be two-way channel, but we are only receiving their mercy. So I like to add also one thing. Can I add also one point or 2 points in regarding to the topics?
Yes, please do. We are inviting you happily, and we're happy to meet you in this way also.
Yes.
Maharaj, give your blessings. Okay.
Hare Krishna.
So, this is the actually interesting thing, actually interesting topics. Heart within and overhead, heart God overhead. Actually, this is interesting. You know, when the Sripad Pandit desired to hear about Bhagavatam, he meet with Gadadhar Pandit. And Gadadhar Pandit, when he was reciting Bhagavatam, not only reciting, but his tears was coming out, and all this letter has gone. At that time, there is no printing system like this, only letter writing, and with the tears, printing was going out. So that means it's absorption. Absorption is actually hard. Not only head means sometimes another thing, you know, Bhakti Vinod Thakur always presenting Bhagavatam is from his heart. So whatever the point, maybe I maybe deviate it from these topics, I don't know, because we have to focus on not to going to west, not to north, not to south, we have to east. So no logician cannot grasp God. So it has to be coming heart within. We have to awaken our heart, because according to our material mundane conception, we cannot. We have no idea about it. So it's coming from this mercy from Guru Parampara. So that is why we have to always focus on Gadadhar Pandit, whatever he absorbed. Because when the heart is coming, the heart should be melting. And Mahaprabhu always like to hear from even Ramananda Rai, tell me more, tell me more. So even Lord himself, he like to hear from his devotees. So that is why this glorification of Lord or Krishna Pada, heart within, we have to melt our heart. And it should be Shada Pashanti. When we are doing our Asman, you know, so Om Vishnu Tat Padam, Param Padam, Shada Pashanti. His lotus feet, Shada Pashanti means always we have to see. Pashanti means not only eyes, it has to be through the visualize, with the realize from heart. So in the overhead also I can maybe other with our head we have to everything we have to logical way to understand with our head, but we have to absorb from our heart. Please, Maharaj, please forgive me. Maybe I was talking more. Please.
We are all, I can speak for everybody. We are all very happy to hear your words, and a very suitable, extremely suitable example for Gadadhar Pandit. What a heart he had. And when Srinivasacharya received the order from Mahaprabhu to learn learn Srimad Bhagavatam from him, then he went to Srinivas went to Gadadhar Pandit, but Gadadhar Pandit said, "Oh, as you told, all the words have been washed off the pages, the shlokas have been washed away. So please, you go and get another copy. You get literally a copy. They have to make a copy at that time and come back." And when he came back on his way to Puri, then he finds out that, oh, Gadadhar Pandit has passed away. However, from Gadadhar Pandit's heart to his heart, as that transaction had already been guaranteed, then the content, the substance of Srimad Bhagavatam was transmitted heart to heart from Gadadhar Pandit to Srinivas. So many beautiful things there. And yes, thank you for reminding us happily. Hare Krishna. And indeed, obeisance, we've got devotees who've joined us in due course of time, and we're very happy to have each and every one of you with us. Praneshwari Didi, Ishanuga Didi joined us. Rupe Vilas Prabhu, our dear God brother and friend in Manila, far east of West London. And he's with us too. Subhasini Madhu Gopal Prabhu and Ananda Sarupini, who is indeed in London. Ananda Sarupini Didi in East London nearby. Dandavat to each of you. Hare Krishna.
Dandavat Maharaj, Dandavat. Maharaj, where are you? In Italy?
In Italy. We are here in Italy, Vila Govinda Ashram, on a sunny early summer morning. Actually, early summer afternoon, now come to think about it.
Time is going on.
Hare Krishna. But actually, we're all in West London. We've come from different parts of the world, and we're in West London, Math, where just about now, I assume they're going to be either chanting Bhoga Arati or the Noon Arati, and then lunch prasadam, because it is there 1 o'clock already. So, time for a big ki jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj ki jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Srila Bhakti Rockok Sridhar Dev Goswami Maharaj ki
Jai.
Jai.
Jai. Bhagavan Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur ki jai. Shri Rupa Nuga Guru Vaga ki jai. Vishwarenya Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai.
All the present day Sri Chaitanya Saraswati Acharya Brinda ki jai.
Jai.
All the worldwide devotees ki jai.
Jai.
London Bhakta Vrinda ki jai.
Jai.
Zoom Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Nitai Gaur Premanandi Hari Hari Bol. So please continue happily. Have your kirtan, lunch prasadam, and may the newcomers there, may they also get to hear something from the heart of the devotees in London, that they can hear something of the heart of Mahaprabhu and how to proceed heart within, God overhead.
Jai. Srila Bhakti Ranjan Madhusudan Maharaj.
Nitai Gaur Premanandi Hari Hari Bol. Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhuvya Patitanam
Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha.
Dandavat to you all, and Chaitanya Moy Devi Rasi, Rome also, and Ravindra Krishna Prabhu. I saw not here just now, but
Yes,
they're present. Yes, I can't see, but
no, not at the moment.
not at the moment. All right. So Dandavat, Dandavat. Wishing you a successful week in Krishna consciousness. Govinda, Govinda, Govinda.